Heat, and I was like, hot flashes.
Going through menopause.
Something like that.
Yeah, basically, I just think if you're going to be on a balanced team, you're going to design a game, or you're going to design a PvP scene, and even for like PvE too, right? You need to design the game off of stats, not off of
shouldn't
abilities.
The core of the people should be equal, and then the ability should be flavor that's added.
Yeah, I mean,
how you play.
Like a greatsword on a necromancer versus a greatsword on a warrior, like should just have the same damage modifier.
Mm.
It should just be whoever's adding more power to it.
Well, see, and that's kind of like.
Like, does the warrior have more power than the necro?
Not to preemptively bring up Baldur's Gate.
Yeah.
But that's what I found crazy about the damage that, like, doing it like D&D style, where it was just like literally when you hit with this weapon does like
this
2d6. You know, it does. You will literally do 2 to 12 damage with this thing, and it doesn't matter who fucking swings it, right? And you can have some modifiers and things like that, right?
Yeah.
But regardless...
Yeah, you can have modifiers in the class.
Yeah.
But I think, like, when you swing a greatsword in the game, if you really want the game to be balanced, like, it should just be...
fairly
equal. The greatsword should just be kind of equal. Like, you shouldn't make my number one skill on Guardian that I spam higher damage than a warrior's number one on greatsword.
What else?
Like, you're just asking for a thing that's going to be unbalanced.
No.
Right?
What I also found kind of crazy about that is there's actual... So they did the Guild Wars style where, like, all gear is kind of the same, right? Like, as soon as you get to, like... There's no gear progression. Like, all exotics are exotics, right? Or, like, all of a sudden it's just a little bit of a buff, right? They do that in Baldur's Gate when you're, like, progressing your character, but you still feel kind of like... Even though the weapons are doing the same thing, there's little teeny things about them that are different that you actually still feel like you're getting a new toy or a new, like, upgrade, right?
Yeah.
So, like, for instance, it would be like as if, you know, you're grabbing Eternity, and it's like, oh, I have a, you know, I don't even...
You know what I thought of a really cool way to keep MMOs fresh and, like, cool? You know how, like, World of Warcraft has that, like, constant power creep they do, and you always got to get new gear, upgrade, right?
So you're thinking power decreep?
No. What I was thinking is that you have the power creep, but what you do is you'd have it, like, reset to a level. You know how, like, there's battle passes on COD and stuff? You know when the battle pass ends? Basically, you take, like, the same time frame, right? And you make it so, like your Eternity will start out at, like, tier 1 at the beginning of the season.
Oh, and you upgrade
and you upgrade it throughout the season, right? And at a certain point in the season, right, you can upgrade to the next tier, right? Yeah. And you can work towards that. But then if somebody comes near the last end of the tier, they won't necessarily just be at tier 7, like the one behind it. They'll be all the way at tier 1, but they can upgrade quickly to like tier 6, and then the last one's harder to get.
And then at the end of the season,
everybody goes back to 1. But then, like, if you have a legendary weapon, it's still cool because you can swap your stats. You still have, like... And then you don't have the issue where WoW has, where it's like you want to feel like when you make an armor set, like a legendary armor set, you're going to keep that set.
Here's the thing,
right?
Though, which is also could be cool. If you had like an epic sword or like a legendary sword, you could make it so it retains 1 or 2 tiers, right?
Yeah.
Nothing significant,
yeah.
But it doesn't reset all the way back to tier 1. It just resets back to like tier 3, and then like even people with better weapons or whatever could still upgrade their stuff or power creep up.
Yeah, I think that would be a cool way to keep like the game, because like I think it would be a lot of fun in Guild Wars right now. Like, if I logged in and, like, the end of the season happened, right? Yeah. And, like, I had to start out at, like, this tier again.
Yeah, and you're fundamentally weaker.
I'm just fundamentally weaker, and I can build up to being, like, my final form. And then, like, the final season, like, you can kind of have a little bit of unbalance going on. Like, a little bit of craziness. Like, everybody's so strong.
Yeah, everyone's kind of broken.
And then you have then you have the feeling of people that actually get to like tier 7 or whatever tier it is.
Yeah.
And then, you know,
make it actually like really hard and kind of impossible.
Yeah, make it so it's like it's a challenge, and I think it would be really cool way to keep an MMO fresh. Because and without doing the WoW thing where you just continuously expand numbers until oblivion, right?
Yeah. Could also do something where it's like a meter too, where it's like basically it slowly degrades over time too.
No, yeah, I think people like hard reset days, like a lot, because it's like World v World reset night. It's like, oh my god, everybody's on. You know, it's like maps are all queued, everybody's fucking killing people. You know what I mean? People love that stuff, man.
Yeah.
You know, they like the seasons of it, right? And then they like pushing it, and then like at the end of the season, right before the next one comes over, they'll like go and grind, and you can like
make it so like you can only get to tier 7 if you've been grinding and like playing actively the whole season.
No, you know, you don't even have to do that. You just make it so like the last tier is always really hard. So make it so like
that's what I'm saying. If you started at the end of the season, you could power up pretty quickly to like tier 5.
Yeah, you want to make it so like if somebody starts out, the season's going to end in a week, they can get to like the second last tier really quickly. But like the last one for like that extra maybe 10% or something,
it'd be like damn near impossible.
Yeah, it's harder to do, right?
Because they started at the end of the season, right?
Yeah.
But still, they had the massive super power creep of like flying up to.
Well, it's fun too. Like, imagine you're doing that. Imagine you go and show up to Guild Wars right now, and you put on Celestial Armor, and you're at like 20k HP, all this stuff. You're hitting these numbers, and then like a week from today, you're hitting for double, right?
Well,
and
then you're fucking hooked too, because what happens is you started the season, you had this rush of power, you're like, damn, my character was so cool. Next reset happens, it's like, I was so close to max, right? I was almost there.
What is he going to be like if you max out?
So then he's like literally conditioned and like set up to be able to go through the whole season and actually just hit the next season hard. Yeah, that'd be fun.
I think it would be cool, and then you don't have to make it so people have to get rid of their armor too. Yeah, like just make it so it's their same armor. They just
so they can upgrade it. You know.
Yeah, and then you can even have it so like, you know, if you want, you can just add certain things like, you know, they can get an RNG drop or something, you know, and get little bonuses or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Like upgrade this one piece or something, and you can even have like little bonus rewards. Like if you win this week's like skirmish or something, you get one. You can make one of your pieces go up a tier, extra, right? And you could, like you said, like the legendary gear, it retains a tier, right? It's always at tier 1, no matter what.
How do you feel about missing in like accuracy?
I think miss is so fucking stupid. I think miss is beautiful in Guild Wars. I think it's really cool when you put blindness on your enemy, and then your next attack misses. I think that's really cool. It's such an active, like, it's like an active defense, because like there's so many times where like I see a big hit coming, I quickly blind them.
Yeah, you blind them.
I blind them real quick, and it's like it's such like an actually like real fight type scenario. You grab the dirt, throw it in their face, right?
Well,
because
awesome. some people would hate that mechanic, kind of like some people hate stuns. Right?
I think it's cool.
I know you don't like stuns, right? But then like some people will think like misses, they like fucking hate it, right?
I hate misses. I don't hate Guild Wars misses because it's like you see when it's on you, your screen kind of lights up a certain way. You know your next attack's gonna miss, and you can kind of like try to get rid of it or cancel that animation. I think it's cool. I think it's a cool thing, and then it just makes more traits that you can put in there, like immune to blind during this or something. You know, like and then it makes certain abilities cool too. It's like a thief like throws like some dust in your face. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
Right. It's a cool mechanic. I think it's one of the better mechanics in the game, actually.
Should we move on?
I think so.
Next segment, guys. Here we go. We're gonna do the be right back thing.